Hey crafty friends, welcome back to the Old Paper Lady. I'm Lori. If you're new here, hi and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Today we are going to sew we're going to make the cover first, and then we're going to sew our signatures in our journal, and hopefully get our pockets in, because I've got all of my decorations for this journal ready to go. I did all that last night. As you can tell, I got lint or something on my lip. Probably some kind of fuzz. But, yep. So, but anyways, as you can tell, I am excited about getting these journals done. I've got this one here is ready to go. Let me space out to make sure we got enough room for 2 covers and the overage bits that we need. Because it's a fat quarter, so you should have enough to do 2 journal covers out of a fat quarter. That's why I like them. I love getting the fat quarters. Okay. Oops. That's the piece that you just cut, knucklehead. Okay. So now I'm going to take and just fold this back up. We'll put these up because I've got some more journals that I would like to use these cover pieces for, but not at the moment. So we're just going to set them aside right now. I'm going to put them on a little sewing cart here just to keep them all together. And then when I get done at the end of this journal making section, or the fall journals, I'm going to put all of my fall fabrics together, and then which I've got most of them in, all together, but I pulled all the ones out that I wanted to make journal covers out of, and all the bits and pieces and scrap pieces and stuff we'll put up. And then next year, when I want to start working on some fall bits, we'll pull out pieces like these, and we'll make us some cluster pieces and such. So, but I'm just going to pull all of the fall bits, and even the little scrap cut-offs from the corner, and put them all in there. And then we'll just have it. So we'll stack it, make a stack. That is cut-offs, and that is actual fabric. So I'll have a stack of fabrics that can be made into covers, and a stack of fabric that we can take and just make, oh, this is sticky. I forgot, these are sticky ones. Now these are just white office envelopes. And I got mine from Temu. What is going on with my lip? I think I got a piece of that fabric off of it on my lip. Give me some chapstick, not glue stick. I gotta have my glue sticks for myself over here now, because, I've about glued my lips shut 2 or 3 times. Just being a knucklehead. So I'm gonna take and, and we've done this several times, but, we always have new people, so we always want to share. So what I do is I take the Fabri-Tac and I put the applicator down onto it, so then you don't have bubbles of Fabri-Tac or what is that? Fabri-Fix, whatever it is. Same difference, just different names. Pretty much all comes from the same company. Then they have this 3-in-1 glue too. So we're going to do this. We're going to flip it over. Try our best to center it up in the middle of our fabric. I'm going to touch it down just a smidget, and then I'm going to flip it and pull it. Now you can, if you want, you can iron it. I don't know how to iron, so therefore I don't. Which, you know, I'm sure it's not rocket science. I could figure it out, but I don't want to. Because this works just as good. And the reason why I take and put my nozzle straight down on here is it won't give you the big bubbled up bubbles of Fabri-Tac or Fiberfix, whatever, Fabrifix, Fibertac, whatever. So then if you have a thinner fabric, it won't seep through your fabric. So I've learned that as trial and error over time. Now these pieces, if I cut them a wee bit short, that's going to be fine and dandy, because I am going to put corner protectors on them, just make them look a little more finished and professional, you know, since how we're professional journal makers and all that, supposedly. So, but yeah, all of these little bits and bobs that I cut off here, I'm going to keep, and we'll add that to our little stash of bits that we can make something with later. All right, so this is going to move a wee bit fast, I do think, and I don't know how hopefully we will get it all done today. But now what I've done was I sat here last night, you know, and in the yesterday's video, I got all of my pieces that I wanted to decorate together with fussy cuts and that I wanted to put on things. Got all my pockets and my tags picked out. So then, while I was uploading that video that I shot yesterday, I just sat here and just inked and finished what parts I needed to finish. And before I knew it, every bit of it was done. So, but you know, you've also seen me do that several times. But I'm going to start taking the cold medicine because I've got this itchy, dry cough that has developed over today. I was sneezing a little bit yesterday. I don't feel bad. It is cooler here in my area. It was 45 degrees last night. And then I said, well, I am not turning the heat on unless we just have to, you know, because it's still getting, you know, 75 or so degrees during the daytime. I need to move this wipe box over here so I can get to it. And that's just all there is to it, because, you know, we're playing with the Fabri-Tac. We've got to get it off my fingers. So I've had this just hacking cough this evening, and it's really getting on my nerves. And I was like, yep, that's how it started last year. About the same time. And then I just had to dry hacking cough for 6 months till I pulled a muscle in my ribs and then cracked 2 ribs from coughing. I mean, that's how much I was coughing. And then every time I'd go to the doctor, yeah, they would put me on some kind of another Z-Pack or what have you. And I was just like, the Z-Pack ain't cutting it, buddy. I need something else. I mean, I'm just, you know. But so finally got to the point that I couldn't even lay down without feeling like I was suffocating. I mean, it was hurting so bad in my ribs. And that's why, because, you know, 2 of them were cracked, and then whatever that cardiac something another muscle runs through your rib cage. Yeah, it was seizing up. Boy, I tell you what, that hurts. And my sister's like, oh, and she's a cardiac nurse. My sister was, and so she said the name of it, and I was like, yeah, that's what they said. And she's like, ooh, that's some pain. She's like, that makes you feel like you're having a heart attack every time you cough. I was like, yep, pretty much. Yes, ma'am. Sure was. And I mean, I was literally to the point of, I thought I had a tumor on my lung. I mean, that's how bad it was hurting. You know, like feeling like my whole lung collapsed. But if you've ever had pleurisy, which is fluid on the lungs, that, yeah, that's what it started out feeling like. And then by the time that everything had evolved and showed itself, I was just to the point of, I was just like, if there's a tumor or something in there, just do a CT scan or something. Just tell me what it is, I was like, phew. But yeah, that was some pain. And that really hurt worse than having my kids. Yeah. Now, the last baby, I had to have her with epidural because of complications with me and her both. So if at any point in time they needed to see fit to do a C-section, we were prepared and ready for it. But with the older two, the oldest one accidentally had her on, well, kind of accidentally, but not accidentally. My water broke, and then I was in labor for like 7 or 8 hours. And then they were like, you want to do the epidural? And I was like, my back's bad. I can't hold that position. And then by the time they actually got to where they could put the epidural in, she was coming out. Because when I was, you have to ball up like in a baby shape, or a fetal position as they call it. So apparently me balling up in that position just helped her come out. So I went from like a 6 to a 10 with the baby just sitting there going, hey, I'm here. So that's how that happened. So let's see. Do I want that or this? I think this is the back side. Yep, that's the back side. See, talking, not paying attention. And I usually put the smooth side to where the fabric, so then that way you won't be able to feel this pieces on your cover. Sometimes I forget, but it doesn't make a big difference. But I just don't like to be able, run my hands around my journal cover when it's fabric and not have any of that backing. And I am teaching myself how to do with the backing. I want to do a cover of like piece fabrics. So I've got a bunch of piece fabrics that I bought at the Goodwill. So I said, well, I've got that thin piece of batting from Hobby Lobby that they had in their remnants pack. So I got it, and I said, well, I'm going to try my best to do a like a quilted journal cover. I said I'm going to try it. Is that going to be crooked as all get out? Probably, more than likely. Let's pull it this a ways here, because I need a little more room at the top there. This fabric is a little bit thinner. So see, if you do get it to where you got wrinkles and that, you can pick it up and pull it and smooth it back out, and it'll be just fine and dandy. That's what I'm doing here. So I got a wrinkle there in the middle, so I'm just pulling towards the edge. I think that's going to be all right. I'm going to pull this up to the top. There we go. Okay. Let's see. I need the roller thing. The roller thing. But anyways, how did we get off? Oh yeah, because I was talking about my cough. All of that because of my cough. Ain't that some mess? I was like, I'm not really hurting. I'm not nasally. I just sneezed 2 or 3 times real hard yesterday, and it kind of caused a little tickle irritation in my throat. And then it started getting chilly in the house about 3, 4 o'clock this morning. And I started hacking the cough, and I was like, oh no, oh no. I was like, here we go. But I'm going to be optimistic. And it does hurt a little bit when I cough. It's got like a pain in my throat. But we are going to be very optimistic this year and hope that I don't get hit with no bad sickness, because the flu is going nuts, and because school went back, the flu is going like crazy, and apparently some new wave of COVID that comes on, and you think that you've got strep throat or what have you, and it turns out to be this new strand of COVID, and it is running rampant in our area. Now my son and his wife, they went to the beach, come back, and my son comes in. He's like, Mama, I'm sick. I was like, oh no, are you all right? You better go get checked. Because, it seemed like to me every time they've gone to the beach and visit her family in Lumberton, they come back sick. And I don't know if it's just the salt air, because they're not used to it. And I think that has an effect on him, where he had asthma when he was small. So I think that could play a factor. That him and her both always seem like they get a head cold when they've gone to the beach and visit her family in Lumberton, North Carolina. So I was like, maybe just the salt air, cleans their sinuses out or whatever. I don't know. But both of them come back nasally and running temperatures and such. And he said that he didn't test positive for anything, but he was achy all over, running a fever of 102. And they put him on some antibiotics, cough medicine, and told him to take that Mucinex DM over the counter like I told him to take, that would help him cough it up and keep it loosened up. And I said, yep, that stuff works pretty good. And I'm going to tell y'all, if it hadn't been for that stuff, I probably would have wound up in the hospital with pneumonia. Because I took that stuff, and it did help loosen it up in my chest. Or I wouldn't have been able to cough half the mess out. But yeah, Mucinex DM works really good for chest congestion and bronchial congestion. So I've had 2 diagnoses with COPD within the last year. And I was just like, well, and then I have degenerative disc, rheumatoid arthritis. I got the trigger fingers on both the hands, where they catch, and I can't do nothing until they decide to, the leader or ligament, whatever it is, decides that it wants to let my hand go. So I was like, well, let's see, maybe it is time that I try to see about, checking in to see if I can get on disability. I don't know. But then I was like, if I do that, then I'll probably have to wait, 3 or 4 years and not work. They want you to not work, and I'm like, I really can't do that. We can't eat. And that's why a lot of people that truly are disabled, physically disabled, wind up in wheelchairs because of that. You really have to be just to the point where you can't move before they'll be like, oh yeah, she is disabled, And that's sad that our country's like that. It really is. Because there's a man that comes in my store. He works at our local Walmart. He does dialysis 3 days a week. And he is the nicest, sweetest fella that you ever see and ever meet in your life. Comes in, hey my dear, how you doing? You're just always in a good mood. I mean, no matter what he's got going on. His wife's got cancer. He has dialysis, and is on the kidney list. He is on the kidney list waiting for a kidney transplant. And his insurance refuses to pay for dialysis, even though he's worked for Walmart for 20 years. And yes, I'm going to dog Walmart today. I don't care. And then, so I was talking to him and finding out all of this, and which I knew, he worked at Walmart because I see him there, and he always comes over and says hey and speaks, But then, this evening while I was talking with him, found out, that the insurance refuses to pay for his dialysis. And I was like, are you kidding? Are you serious right now? Because, if you're to the point that you are on the kidney transplant list waiting for a kidney and you're doing dialysis, I mean, I'm sorry, you should be on disability, honey. You really should. It's just pitiful. And he says that he is working because him and his wife, basically the insurance that they have is not going to pay for any of their medical care. So they're basically paying for that. And that's why he's still working. And he said if it wasn't for that, I would have quit a long time ago. And I started crying. I was like, I am so sorry. I really, truly am just sorry. That is just sad. That him and his wife both are in that shape. But this man, you couldn't tell it. He's skinny, frail. You can tell he's sickly. His skin color's not that great, and he has bruises here and there, or, they do the dialysis and that, but, as far as, just good mood, never seen him in a bad mood, and he really wasn't even talking bad about the company that he works for that won't pay for him and his wife's, health. Yeah, he loves his job, and he takes dialysis Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 3 days a week. And it upsets him that he has to miss those days of work. And I was just like, he's like, because it just wipes me out so bad that, I can't work those days. And I was like, honey, surely they understand that. And he's like, oh, they hadn't said nothing. It's me. I miss, I hate that I miss that work. But, that's the generation that we were raised in. You know what I'm saying? Where it didn't matter what was wrong with you. You got yourself up and you went to work. And if you fell out on the floor, somebody better prop you up, make you look like you working. Or, at least, call the ambulance if I quit breathing, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, that's the generation that I grew up in, I have gone to work and not had a voice, had, laryngitis, and have wrote a note and stuck it on the counter. I've lost my voice. What can I help you with? I sure have. Sure have. I was like, I'm physically able to go. I just can't speak, so I'm going. I did miss quite a few days when I was sick off and on because I was coughing to the point it was making me sick. That's how bad I was coughing. And that's what caused the issues with my ribs and that, because I was bending over being sick and my ribs flip-flopped. And then all that mess happened. But yeah, I don't even know. Oh yeah, I was like, what in the world am I on this topic for? Because I've got a hacking cough. That's why. See, ADHD in my own conversation. Oh man, I must be a terrible friend. I can't even follow in my own conversation, much less anybody else is having one with me. I'm pitiful, y'all. But you know what? I am off work tomorrow. Thank the goodness. Oh. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Aldi's. Walmart just made me mad. Well, because last week, now, I went and did, well, not last week, it was almost 2 weeks ago. Sunday, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, because I had to work. And like I say, this is 8 days straight. I'm off tomorrow, thank goodness. But anyhow, when I did go to the Walmart the very last time, 2 weeks ago, I had 2 2-liters missing off my order, and the substitution for the 40 count waters that they didn't have in stock, they were supposed to give me 3 of the 24 ounce, or 3 of the 24 counts waters. Well, I get home, open the trunk, there's only 1 thing of water in there. I was like, are you kidding? It says here 3. So I call them, and she's like, well, do you want us to pick it, or do you want to? I said, I want my refund, because, you know, I got to go to work tomorrow. I don't have time to run back over, and, you know, you fit me in, is what she said. And I was like, it should have been order picked right the first time, because you asked if I wanted a substitution, and I said yes. And it said 3, quantity 3, and I get home, and there's quantity 1. And she's like, well, ma'am, I'm so sorry that happened. And I was like, I understand, you know, sometimes, you know, the order pickers are just not looking at the thing or what have you. But, you know, on our end as customers, it says this. So why does your system not say the same thing that our side says? That don't make no sense to me. So maybe y'all need to look into that. I'm just saying. But anyhows, Walmart has got me heated this week with their nonsenseness. It don't really matter which way's up, does it? I like this side. And I'm going to put that and I'm talking like a lunatic, and you know, that's why I'm hacking. I'm going to put that on the front of that. I think that is going to be pretty on there as my focal point on the front. Now, do we want to put anything behind it or not? I don't think I do. I just glued that, and you know what? I don't care, because I'm about to sew my daggum signature in here. And actually, I want to poke my holes for my whatchamacallits first. Y'all, if y'all are new here, I am not this crazy all the time. Well, some days, but, you know, normally not. I'm just overworked right now and just excited about, I'm off tomorrow, and I get to work on this journal, because, you know, it's all the ephemera is done for it, so I got to get it together, like, right now. That's what my OCD brain is telling me. This is pretty bad, you know, when I get tired. The ADHD kicks in, and then normal brain is OCD. You know, things have to be exactly right, or it's super duper frustrating. You know, everything has to be exactly where it's supposed to go, or it's irritating. And I know not everybody's brain works that way, and I get it. But sometimes people do things to spite me in that regards, and laugh about it and think that it's funny. And it is not funny to the people that do that to me. I think that's going to be super pretty. It's glaring a bit, so I'm holding it up a little. Yes, I think I'm just going to put that on the front. I really like that. Now, what kind of closey bit do we want? Do we want orange? Where's them orange bits at? Come here. Let me see. That's orange and yellow. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, there's just a closey bit. Do we want that? Or do we want the green? Ooh, look at this pretty green. Would be super pretty on there, wouldn't it? Come here. I think I'm going to do that. I know it's remnants of Gale, but you know what? I got that one. The darker ones, these are going to be them's Christmas colors. We're not touching them. Nope. And then I got a bunch of things that need the orange closure, so I'm not trying to save as much of it as I can. That green right there is going to match just lovely with those leaves and that moss. That is going to be super pretty. Yes, we need to put that right there. Let's go ahead and do that. Where's the Fabri-Tac? There it is. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to poke my holes for this. I'm going to sew the signature in it, and I didn't fold my daggum papers. Ugh. See, I thought I was gathered up to where I could actually, you know, get a lot done in this video. Honestly, I was hoping to do a long video and get it completed today, and if we don't get it completed, that is just perfectly fine. So I was trying to decide what I wanted to do with myself tomorrow. Did I want to fussy cut? Did I want to make ephemera? You know, did I want to make journal covers? I don't know what I'm going to do. Just whatever I get up and feel like I'm in the mood to do tomorrow is what I'm going to do, to be honest. Because I'm really just not, you know, in a hurry to do a whole lot. I think that's going to be pretty. Is it straight? I'm going to bow it a little bit because it's going to need a bow because this may be a little bit of a fat journal. Just saying. It might turn into a little bit of fatso because, you know, we added the other pages and all of the pockets and such. Okay, so where am I going to set you? Right here. Set you right there out of the way. Okay. Tie pieces. All right. So and I loaded up on these because I knew I was going to use this antique gold quite a bit. There's a bee. I don't know what the heck that is. Looking to see if I had any of them trees or leaves in here. Maybe there's some flowers and butterflies. Everything besides what I want to look for. There's a couple of bees there. Oh, look, there's a little tree. That's too cute. We can put that as a dingle dangle. Look, I'm going to make this because it's the thumbs up thing, and my son does that every time. Like, instead of okay, he sends the thumbs up. And I just think that is just too funny. So I do it now too. Look, there's this owl. Shut up. There we go. That's going to go on our tie bits. And yeah, even though it's gold, I don't care. Okay. Center you up. 4.5, 4.5. Let's get our fabric marker, or what I'm using as a fabric marker, because it does mark pretty daggum good on fabric. Put it right there. And flip it over. Do the other side. 4.5, 4.5. Then right there. 4.5, 4.5. Okay. Well, how is everybody else doing today? Y'all doing okay? And am I the only one that's running 100 miles a minute? I am going to get me a drink of water. Well, it wasn't water. It was Mountain Dew. I'm not even going to lie. It's Mountain Dew. I drink water, like one big 32-ounce glass during the night at work. And that's like during my busy hours, like from like 4 to 6. I'll drink water then if I want something to drink. And then after that, It's Mountain Dew for the rest of the day and the rest of the night. I'm just a Mountain Dew-aholic. And it's a wonder if I got any kidneys left, to be quite honest. Because caffeine is really rough on your kidneys and your bladder. Yes, I know. Not too bad. Alright, so now I am going to say that I did get emailed about this journal already when I was putting the pieces together in yesterday's video, and someone has already spoken for it. I didn't think this would be the one that would be getting spoke for first, but it has already been spoken for. There we go. Alrighty, so now that is our front. That is looking pretty daggum good, y'all. I am super happy with it so far. Okay. The thing is, with these seam binding bits, you kind of cut like a mile long piece, it seems like. I think that's going to be long enough, and then we'll double it up. And this color is, what is it? Moss. How perfect. This color is moss, is what it's called. And it matches the moss exactly. Good job there, Miss Erin, at My Scrap Cabin Shop on the matchy-matchy of the moss color. I was wanting to see if I couldn't order extra bits for Christmas, but I don't think I'm going to be able to afford it at this time. And that's fine. It ain't like I'm going to quit doing this anytime soon. You know what I mean? So as always, next year, then I can double up. I would like to have just her fall kit and the Christmas season kits just extra. Yeah, and I love it for the tie bits. I really do love it just for the tying of the journal. That's why I like them. Okay, quit running off the mouth. Get busy, because you got to fold up this journal. You got to fold the pages up. Shoot the cutter down there so I don't hurt myself. Y'all, this is exciting. Okay, and again, this is Autumn Woodland Journal by Touky, T-O-U-K-Y Designs. I hope I'm saying that name right. I mean, that's the way it seems like it would be pronounced to me. It may not be. So now, once this one is done, I will put this in my, have done it folder and write on here what day this journal was completed, finished, blah, 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 blah. That's what I do with those bits and pieces. And then that way, next year, if I go looking and I'm like, ooh, I want to do like, woodland theme type journal. Here it is. And I've almost started to take out these, some of the blue pieces in that, or anything that had blue on it to put it with another journal. But this does have some blue pieces here and there in it. So I'm just fine with that. And I think this is going to be super pretty. Let's look and see if that's going to be looking really good there. Ooh, yes. That frames that good too, don't it? I like that a lot. There's one that's got more yellow leaves on it. That looks super pretty too. But that's my front page. See, now I'm second guessing my center page. That would be pretty too and matches that better. I don't know. I just like the bear looking like he's going to get a drink of the water because he's looking over at the water. Me and my storylines for my journal pages. You know what I'm saying? Am I the only one that does that? Come up with a storyline about your characters and stuff in your journal to make it make sense to you about why you're putting something the way you are? Probably. Probably the only one that thinks like that. Like, well, I'm going to do this because, you know, the bear looks like he's thirsty looking over here at the waterfall. So the person that spoke for this journal was like, well, I'm in no hurry for it. I'm like, no, I done got it done last night while I was sitting here, you know, because it was only, you know, a few tags needed to be topped and a couple of pockets needed to be inked or what have you and stuff like that. I mean, pretty much I had all the pieces picked out. I just needed to dress them up, so to speak. So that's why I'm like, I don't want to get rid of trash to treasure days because, you know, that helps you stay ahead a season working. Because pretty much every pocket that's in this fall stuff is trash to treasure. And most of these tags that I have where I've just took my scrapbooking paper and covered stuff is trash to treasures type stuff too. I didn't do all of it on video, but it was, you know, while I did the trash to treasures, I just kept, look at that pretty deer. I just kept working after I shot the trash to treasure videos. I'm sitting in here listening to my murder mysteries, you know, like us southern ladies do. I saw a comedian that was saying, how do you know how do you know when you're in a true southern household or a true southern woman's household? And it played the ding ding ding, the, you know, like the, you know, the dun 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 where it comes on for the Law and Order. I started laughing. I said, shut your face, that is too funny. So how to tell when you're in the presence of a true southern lady's house. That's what it was. And it did that dun 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 for the intro to the Law and Order song. I said that is too funny, but it is true. Me, my mama, my girls. I mean, we all watch the Law and Order. Any of them. Right now, I'm binge watching the SVUs on Hulu, and then yeah, I want to watch the what is it, the special case or whatever, and then the original Law and Orders where it was just I think it was just murder investigations or whatever. And I'm talking about the TV show, you know what I mean? So don't strike me, YouTube, because I said that word. But yeah. Oh yes. Shut up. Mr. Owl, you look so pretty there, buddy. Well, that does look good there, don't it? I was just thinking of the center. And look how skinny it is right now. We know good and well it ain't gonna stay that way because we done picked out too much stuff. Oh. Get my hole puncher board. How long have I been on here yapping? What is that? 44 minutes. So hopefully we can get this journal sewn in. probably ain't gonna get no pockets in it today, y'all, but we got the cover, the front and back cover done, got it put together, got our pinch that in there, got them corners on, got our tie eyelets and our tie put on. Normally I just wind up getting just the cover done in an hour video, just cause sometimes, you know, my hands don't want to work as good as I want to work, so we got to play with that sometimes. Some days. Now my mouth don't want to work as good as my mind's going. And that paper's bowing up with me there. Let's straighten you out, buddy. So as you can see, I just take my thumb and force it into the bend or the V of the spine. Flip-flop it over here, and if that looks a little loosey-goosey, I'll just tighten it up. There we go. So then all of it kind of stays about the same. Alright, let's poke some holes in her. Eyeball school of measure in the middle somewhat. Usually if I do the eyelets, that's kind of, you know, the middle. So I kind of line it up. If you can see, I'm kind of lining it up where the eyelets are, and that should be the middle of the journal. And then I'll go about an inch or so. That's probably about 2 inches there from the actual top of the actual cover. Ow, that hurt my wrist. Why are you being difficult? There it goes. Goodness, that just did not want to go through there, y'all. Okay, so we'll go about right here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wear that wristband tonight. That sucker hurt. I'm gonna poke these holes a little bit wider. Okay, let's see. And I chose, it's like a dark, almost burgundy-ish brown looking color. Thought it'd be okay with the inside. So I thought that would match with the inside, and it looked all right with the outside. So this one, where it kind of really didn't matter the outside color because it's got a little bit of everything, I kind of tried to match the inside middle page. So we go out in the middle, and it's no rhyme or reason. You could go back in at the top or the bottom. It's just the way the book is laying, is whichever one I do. I'm gonna have to repoke that hole because it's wanting to close up. There we go. And then I go all the way down to the other end, back out. And I'm going to go right here in the middle, back through. I'm going to pull this thread over, make sure I don't catch it. If you catch it, it's not going to let you tighten up your thread. And I just pull it through. So then that's called a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. You have a piece of thread on one side and a piece of thread on the other side. And the biggest reason I switched to this and like doing it this way is mainly because when I tie it, the knot is held by that center piece and it won't let it slip through. Oops. Let's pull it tight, make sure that is good. separate, and then we're going to tie knots. And then see where I'm saying that middle string? It will not let your knot slip back through your hole, so your journal won't be slip-slopping. And I like this 3-hole pamphlet stitch version better than the one that I was using, which was like the Gail Augustinelli version, where she would go out through here, back up through here, come in and go back through the middle, and then come up here and then loop around. It seemed like the tops of my papers would get a little loose, and I kind of didn't like that. And it was just my preference. That's all. Nothing bad about the way she does hers or makes her journals. It was just, for me, it seemed like my top would get a little loose, especially if I, because I tend to overload with pockets and stuff. Okay. Got our signature in. I'm going to put this needle up. All that stuff done. And I just have a whole sewing in kit here. So it's going to stay in here for a little bit. Now, that looks good. I'll get you out of the way. Sorry, I'm knee bumping the table. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flex this a little bit to get a little bit pliable. And then I'm going to tie my little dangles on it. Got this little tree here. And then I got this cute little owl. So that's going to be my dangle bits on it. I think that is just going to be super cute. If I can see to get them in there. There we go. It's like I was cross-eyed there for a minute. So what I do is I'll take and I'll pull them, because I would like them to hang, where you can set your journal up and the dangles kind of go out behind it on the shelf. So that's kind of how I measure where I put them. And then we'll just double knot it. Just give it a pull, make sure it's on there good. And I'll snip this right here. One time I did that and I snipped the knot. I was like, you big dummy. I sure did. One time I done it and snipped the whole knot right off of it. I sure did. I was like, look at you, crazy. So then I'm going to have that one hang just a little bit further down than the other one. Not that much further. Let's slide you up some. A little bit more, buddy. There you go. So I kind of do a halfway slip knot on the first piece, so then I can adjust them, and that's fine. And then I'll just come back through, do a loop over knot. And then give it a pull, and it is on there. It's not going anywhere. So then we'll snip it. Make sure you do not snip your knot that you just had. And there is our little journal dangles. Those are cute. So see what I'm saying? When it sits up on your bookshelf or what have you, they'll hang out, or to the side, or down from your shelf. Even when it gets fat, they'll hang. I like that. Okie dokie. Well, let's see. How much longer have we got now? 6 minutes. Well, guess what? Here is our tags and bits. That is the front side stuff. Probably will have to make a few tags. Tags and journal cards. And look, here's that deer where I did on the the masterboard, and then there's the bird on the masterboard, and I put the feather on it just cause it kind of went with it. And then here's the toppers I did for these. Just thought it matched pretty good with that. So that's those pieces. And then here's these that I did. And then there's where I did the owl and just put a little number piece up there. So that's and then these, I just took the little polka dots because it might, you know, it's polka dots with the things on it. So I thought that was cute. And so that's the pockets there that we got. Pockets and tucks for the front, and that's the tags, journal cards for the front. And then I just wanted to show you real quick, like, because I worked ahead and did it. And then these I just did the brown on. I thought that would be pretty on that. And then there's the little squirrel. The other one has got like a little, it's kind of like this, but it has red around it. So that's that. And then there's the bear, and I just put a little number on it. And here's these pockets with the rabbits. I just put a leaf and a number on it. Those I just inked around. And here is the bird that I was showing you on the masterboard. I think that turned out just super duper pretty with that rose gold turkey leaf. And then here's Mr. Fox, Mr. Red Fox. Yes, he turned out so pretty, didn't he? I love it. There's little dangles. And then these. And then here's the bear on this one. I think that turned out pretty. And then this we had already pre-made in like July, I think, in our earlier sessions. That's what I was talking about, taking out any of the blue taggy bits and such. But I'm going to leave them in there because it was made with it in it, and I'm happy with it. So, and then there's the group of deers with the polka dot pack. And I think that was everything that I did off camera. So I just want to show you the off camera bits. Alright. Okie dokie. So that's what I did off camera last night while I was waiting for my video to upload from yesterday. And then tonight, while I'm going to sit here and wait for this one to upload, I think I will probably decorate some of that floral background from Girl One Art. If I can find the papers. I just had them. What did I do with it? Did I scoot it in here? See, I hid it from myself. What in the world is wrong with me today? Alright, so these here, I'm going to take all of these and make, cut this banners and bits and make the pockets for a journal out of this. Because it's going to be the light colored pumpkin. I want to do that with that. I'll probably do that here off camera. I mean, really, what did I do with that? I just put it together last night. My goodness, y'all. I'm losing my mind. Oh, I am losing it. I put a project cart basket together with it. Crazy. Because it's 8.5 by 11. But yes, the Autumn Florals by Girl One Art. It's just a bunch of beautiful floral backgrounds. Some of these are printed double-sided and some of them are just single-sided. So the ones that are single-sided, I am going to pull out and make tags out of them. Like I've done with this here. I've just, on some Trash to Treasures bits, I've took and made tags out of the old time cards that I had from work. And it's going to go in these pockets here that I make with this in, if I can get it out of there. in this journal here, this is the one I'm working on next, y'all. With this front, and that's the inside, and this is the journal. And it is, I believe it is by Lynn Art Studio. Because it's, like I said, it's a white pumpkin. With, you know, and so I said I'll bring the colors in with the pockets and the taggy bits. And I think it's going to be super pretty. Super pretty. Love it, love it, love it. So I'm going to make the pockets and the tags and stuff. I think that's going to be really pretty. And I just put tea dye on the back of this. But I love this kit. I think that's going to be my front and back page there. Or maybe this, and that'll be the middle. So this will be the front, and that's going to be my middle. So now that's the one that I'm going to be working on next. And this is the fabric that I got from Hobby Lobby on 40% off sale. And along with this. And I thought that would be super pretty. And just girly girly. And then these pockets with the candy corn looking print that I made in a Trash to Treasure make. And this kind of goes with it with some fussy cut bits and this. And I think the color, because this is mostly, you know, the brown, the white, and the light yellow or light orange. Talk woman. So I said I'm going to bring in the color bits with my journal card, with my pockets, with these pieces cut and put on them for my pockets, and those florals tags. Y'all don't understand how much it took me to concentrate to get those words out. Because, you know, I was like, that's going to be super pretty. Super pretty. But yeah, this is the next one, and I'm going to start, and I'll probably, let's see, what is today? Today is my Tuesday, so it's y'all's Wednesday video. We'll do Thursday. We'll put pockets and tags in that other one. So we'll start this one Friday. Which I'll probably, you know, start on it tomorrow. On the day off. Trying to get my pieces done for it. Because I'm going to have to cover a lot of tags and journal cards. And all of these papers are from Girl in Art. This kit is from Lynn Art Studio. The candy corn is just scrapbook paper, and this is Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Country Harvest, and that is Autumn Splendor. So I thought those would go well with this kit. You know, super girly, little prissy, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm going to be working on in the next journal. If anyone is interested, that's where I got all my stuff from. But yeah, so I think that's going to be super pretty. Now she had autumn florals. And then there was also, is that the same thing? Oh, just autumn papers with the seamless kit. Just autumn, where it had trees, leaves, and stuff like that in it. So it's two separate kits here. And both of it is by Girl in Art. One of it is just 20 seamless digital papers. You can print it 12 by 12. I did it on 8.5 by 11. And it's called Autumn. The other one is Autumn Florals. 20 seamless digital prints. You can print on 12 by 12. And I printed front and back because I just said that is just super duper pretty. And I'm going to slide some of these here in that journal because look how pretty that would be in it. Could not help myself. Okay, so that is all of that bits and pieces. So I'm going to play with this here because I've been working on that. And then here's some pockety bits and stuff. So that's what I'm going to sit and play on here tonight after I get off the camera. Thank y'all so much for putting up with my mess and coming back every day and watching and commenting and sharing and liking. And there is a thanks button on my channel that if you're not able to purchase a journal and you would like to thank me for something that I've shown you or anything like that, or just out of the goodness of your heart, you can send donate to my channel there, and it would send the donation to me. Normally I don't ask for that or say that, but I was advised that I need to let people know that there is a thanks button there, so I'm just letting you know. So thank you all so much. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.